Animal personal training. I had a request on my YouTube channel to go over what I do to warm up on squat day. So we'll start with some stuff that I actually usually do at home. I already did some of this stuff. I'll start with voodoo bands. I got these from Rogue. Start by wrapping them twice right below the knee. I don't go over the kneecap. Wrap them pretty tight. Right above the knee. Okay, once I have these on, I'll go ahead and do about a set of 30 air squats. I'm not really counting right now, like I said, I already did these at home. So you get some temporary blood flow restriction, and then when you take them off, you get a nice influx of blood into the joint, gets it nice and warm and ready to work. The next step in my warm-up is I do a little bit of rolling. This roller is just a piece of PVC pipe that I got at Lowe's. I put a rubber doormat and some duct tape around it, so don't waste your money on fancy trigger point rollers. You can go to the hardware store and get what you need. This is probably actually more effective anyway. So when I do my rolling, I want to try to hit each part of the leg, and if there's any tight spots, I want to particularly work on those. I start my inside of my thigh and work my way down the side of the IT band. So I usually do about 8 to 10 rolls, nice and slow, going from the knee all the way to the head. I'll change the angle, start to go straight on, and then move over onto the side. I'll do this on both legs. Turn it up, hit the hamstring. Again, working on multiple angles. I realize that I'm going through this kind of quickly in an actual warm-up, which I already did earlier. I would spend a lot more time doing usually like 10 rolls in each position. Okay, once I've done both quads and hamstrings, you get the glutes and piriformis. This is usually an area where a lot of people have tightness. So if you find kind of a tight, knotty spot, you just try to work through that. If you spend a lot of time sitting throughout the day, then you should definitely do this on a regular basis. So I'll hit both sides like that, and then work on the back. So I usually spend 5–10 minutes rolling everything out, and then what I do is start stretching. Basic stretches, quad stretch. Keep the knee pointed down. Do that on both sides. My preferential way for stretching the hamstring is to get something pretty high. Get my calf up here, that leg forward. Keep this back foot pointed straight forward, because as I stretch this hamstring, I'm also getting a stretch in the hip flexor. If I allow this to turn out, it takes away from that stretch. So, again, you also want to keep the back straight, try not to round forward. Okay? Same positioning as if you're actually in a squat. And I keep creeping the back leg further back to try to get more of a stretch as I'm doing this. So, I'll do both legs there. Then I turn over to the side. Drop this down to get the groin, inner thigh. On the ground, bring one knee forward, push the hip out, going to get glute performance and also IT band. Do the same thing on the other side. Elevated version of that stretch. One more in a squat position. Your feet come down, grab your feet, grab your butt, put your elbows inside your knees, push them out, push your shoulders back. So that's most of the static stretching that I'll do repeatedly during the 30 minutes prior. There's also a few dynamic movements that you can do so that you're not just doing static. One is just high kicks, okay, both legs, lunges with just body weight. You can do what they call an alternate groin, so push-up position. Getting the legs moving laterally. Once I've gone through all that, I'm usually ready to start doing my warm-up sets. I'll do my warm-up sets with the bar and usually increase after 135 by about 50 pounds on each set. The higher your working weight is in squats, the more warm-up sets you need to do. So I would say that if your starting working set is you should take, for every 100 pounds, say, for your starting working set, you need probably about 1.5 to 2 warm sets. So if you're doing a weight of like 400 pounds for your first working set, then you probably need at least somewhere between 6 and maybe even 8 warm-ups. One more thing that I do, in conjunction with my first 3 warm-up sets on squats, I do some back extensions with the barbell across my back. So the bar should really be very close positioning as it is to when you're actually squatting. Keep the back straight as you come down. I'll do 3 sets of 10 of these. I don't know how many I did because I was talking and not counting. Most of what I do to warm up. One other thing I was asked about is apparel equipment that I use. What I'm wearing right now is compression tights, and even though I may look like a friggin' idiot with these things on, they work really well for me for doing lower body. They, first of all, keep my legs very warm, do a really good job of controlling moisture because I sweat a lot when I do legs. They also don't get in the way. When I wear knee sleeves, it's easy to pull them up and over. With regular pants, you usually get bunching underneath. This is what I use for knee sleeves when I squat. I used to use Ray-Bans. These are SBDs. I really like them. I warn you, they're not cheap. With tax and shipping, they cost me like $97. Pull them right up and over. Gives a little bit of support and warmth for the joint. One other thing you can see is that I'm not using normal shoes to squat, and these are powerlifting shoes. These are Adidas Apparel. The difference is, first of all, you can see there's an elevated heel here. If you look at the bottom, they're extremely flat. Gives greater stability. There's no loss of power when you push. You don't want to squat in anything that's too cushy. Now, you don't, depending on what your level is and how seriously you lift, you don't necessarily need to go out and spend $200 in a pair of lifting shoes, but you should not squat in running shoes because they suck for that. They're not designed for that. They're designed for running. You want something stiff, you want something flat, to get good support and stability when you're squatting. That's pretty much it.